Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the Pro Football Chase podcast. It's Isaac Saenz with you, and joining me for an interview today is Chiefs center Austin Reiter. Now, Reiter was selected by the Redskins in the 7th round of the 2015 NFL Draft out of South Florida. After 2 seasons with the Redskins, Reiter had a brief stint with the Browns before being claimed off of waivers by the Chiefs in September of 2018. So, Austin, thanks for joining me. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. Appreciate you having me on.
All right, Austin, let's talk a little bit about your college career coming into the NFL. 7th round pick. You went from being on the active practice squad to being claimed off waivers and now a Super Bowl champion as a member of the Chiefs. So, can you summarize your amazing journey to the top of the NFL ranks?
Oh, man. Hard to put one word on it. What a ride it's been so far. You know, kind of the highs and the lows. Obviously, the Super Bowl is the high. Cleveland 2016, 2017, 1-15, 0-16. So, I mean, I've just been so fortunate to be able to see such highs and such lows. It really makes you put everything into perspective, so to say. Just what a ride.
Now, Austin, how did you manage to keep faith and perseverance through all the ups and downs of your NFL career, including an ACL tear in your first start for the Browns in October of 2016?
Just keep working. It's really been just kind of like what I believe and how I go about it. Since college, didn't have that great of a career as far as wins and losses goes. So played in a lot of losing football games, and I've just learned that no matter what the score is, I got to go out there and try my hardest, and just putting all that work in has really helped me.
You appeared in 11 games for the Chiefs in 2018, including 4 starts at center, and then went on to get a 2-year extension on December 6th of 2018. So how did the Chiefs' early commitment to you pave the way to your continued success as their starting center?
It put faith in me, that off season going into this season, I went and I kept pushing as hard as I could in a smart way to be the best player that I could and be in the best shape. Andy Reid runs a hell of a training camp. It's tough. We start the first day with 15 half gassers. It's not really done too much in the NFL, but going into that season in 2018 when I got there, for them to extend me, it was just it was awesome knowing that I was going to compete for the job. I don't think the extension meant that I was guaranteed the starting spot by any means, but it was definitely a show of good faith that I was going to be the guy if I could get the job done.
Well, you certainly rewarded them this year. Talking about the 2019 season, according to Pro Football Focus, you just allowed 2 sacks, which was tied for 10th in the NFL, and were a big part of that high-powered Chiefs offense. Now, Austin, the Chiefs got off to a 4-0 mark and then fell to 6-4 and were without Patrick Mahomes for a couple of weeks. How did you manage to weather the storm as a team and stay together?
Oh, man. I'm thinking back on it already, and it was just so much fun. We break the season up into like 4 quarters, and we went 4-0 in that start, and then like you said there, we had a little slump there in the middle, and that's just kind of been this whole team and been Andy Reid, and I think all the success we have is just the belief around the team and the kind of culture we have that we're going to go out there and win, and we're not going to stop until it says 0 on the clock. I know at the Super Bowl there, I was telling guys, even when we were taking knees, guys were celebrating. I'm like, we just need one more knee and then we can really celebrate. But I kind of hit that slump there in the middle with Indy. It's been crazy, that slump. But I think the culture is the part that kept our team going.
Well, that culture did stay strong. You went on to win the final 6 games of the season, finished as the AFC West champions and the number 2 seed with a 12-4 record. Talk about the importance of securing home field advantage and how Chiefs Kingdom fueled the team throughout the postseason.
Arrowhead's awesome. I mean, I've played in a lot of places, and by far Arrowhead's my favorite place to play. And I think our fans really make the difference. It's a very hostile place to play. I know the places that we go to that we have to use silent count, and it's tough. I mean, home and away is definitely an advantage. And our fans, they really make it a problem for teams to come in and execute at a high level on offense. You have to use silent count, and that requires all 11 players basically being in sync through a physical cue that they're, I would say most of them are looking out of their corner of the eye trying to see. So it's definitely tough.
Now, let's talk about the Super Bowl week, Austin. I mean, explain what your emotions were like during that week, all the festivities that went along with it.
So the first week we treated like a normal week, and then going into that second week when we got down there to Miami, the first taste of how crazy and fun it was going to be was we get the plane landed, and we stop, and usually when we pull into like one of these FBOs, we stop, and then they bring the cars with the steps on them. And when they stopped us, they're like, hey, like, wait a minute, they're going to pull us in. And we don't ever get like pulled into a hangar or anything, but this time we do. And there's like a band playing or like a DJ there with like all this music. It sounded like a band from inside the plane, but there's like 100 reporters there. Just crazy from the start when we first got there, and them shutting down, miles of highway in Miami at 5 o'clock for us to drive through. And, I've picked up tickets and stuff before at Super Bowl locations the last couple of years, and it's always been pretty crazy but to be a part of that and, be on the bus and be at the hotel with all the credentials. I know the security, even the guys on our floor. I mean, it's like day 5 and I forget my pass, and the guy's like right outside my door, like, you had to have the pass on. And I'm like, you've seen me 8 times. And that's just how strict they were. I think they said they had like the NFL had just security. We're not talking like law enforcement or anything, just like hired security. I think there was like 70 people that were working just our hotel. I remember looking out and I'm like, it's a kind of boring job. If I got to walk around for 12 hours, my back would be killing me if I had to stand for 12 hours straight and kind of walk in a circle. They had the golf course lined with people. I felt kind of bad. I'd go to bed, look out the curtains, see the same guy, and wake up. He's still out there standing.
Dang. Now, Austin, I know that they had the big old events that were broadcasted on Fox during the week where y'all would go as a team up on the stage and all dressed in the same white tracksuits and all the media there and fielding questions and all that stuff, man. I mean, when you're there in the moment, considering everything that you've overcome, how special was that?
Oh, that was one of the highlights. The pants on the outfit, by the way, were terrible. Everybody's like scratching the inseams like of their legs. We're like, what is wrong with these things? For whatever reason, they were itchier than hell. But going to the event though, I mean, when they let us out there, I didn't know we like walk out on a ramp or anything. I just kind of thought we enter the floor, but they had us out there. What a cool experience! All the people in there with cameras and everything. We're standing up on there. I think my parents said they saw us like on TV. But just I think the next hour was just nonstop talk from reporters. I know I did something with like the Latin, but to overcome all that stuff, 0-16 it's been awesome. I've seen how you got to persevere through losing every game, and so you still got to go out there and play to win in a Super Bowl. And it's just been awesome.
Let's talk about the game itself, which was a phenomenal game, back and forth, the Niners, the Chiefs. Now, the Niners, we know the type of defensive front that they have with Buckner and Armstead, and they got Quan Alexander back from injury, and Nick Bosa. So how difficult and what were some of the challenges that they presented to y'all during the game?
We knew going into the week, this was definitely the most talented D-line that we'd probably faced all year. But yeah, even every team, I would say, though, we treat the same. We have a game plan. We try to execute it the best we can. And with these guys, they were really long. Buckner's, I think, 6'6", or maybe even taller than that. But they had tall, long guys, penetrators, want to get upfield. And I thought we had a really good game plan with kind of how to beat them, but they definitely have all the names you said. I know the linebackers are flying around out there, but I thought we did a really good job of just kind of sticking to our game plan and committing to finding a way. I know we got down there 10 points, but we still ended up. I think even in all the 3 other preseason games, we were down, but I guess we just baited them into thinking they were going to win.
Yeah, that was my next point. You overcame a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter to win the franchise's first Super Bowl since 1970. Talk a little bit about what went into that comeback in the fourth quarter.
I know, so the 17, when we went from 10 to 17, that touchdown, we went out there and we were kind of in what we call like a safe mode. And it's basically 2-minute drill before inside of 2 minutes. And that's where you saw us going no huddle. And, Pat just got the ball out where he needed to in time. Knew if we could do that, then we could make our way down the field. Scored there. And then, I think we just started getting in a rhythm. And I think using that no cadence, just hurrying up, getting on the ball, I think that presented a pretty big problem for them. They couldn't rotate guys. It's hard for defenses when you go into these 2-minute modes and you just keep getting set and you're not running anybody on and off the field. They can't change personnel on defense, and it's hard for them to change up plays. So they kind of got to stick to something basic. And if you're in the right formations, 3-by-1 or 2-by-2, you can kind of easily read what they're trying to do on defense. And when you have a guy like Pat that knows what the defense is, he's gonna dial up the right pass to the route he wants.
Now give a little bit more insight about what it's like being the center for Patrick Mahomes. We saw how special he is this year, coming back from injury, making plays in and outside of the pocket. Now, what a lot of people obviously do not know is the type of teammate he is in the locker room during game weeks. How has he been able to earn the respect of the team and the organization?
I think just by the way he carries himself throughout the facility. When we have our protection meetings, he knows what's going on. And I think, he's one of the first guys at the facility, and I think it's a respect thing. I know everybody respects him because, he performs very well on the field, but he also works really hard, and he's pretty humble about it. And I don't know how you can go wrong with a combination like that. And the talent he's just got on his arm. I mean, he makes these scrambling throws. You look at Houston when he's just like, it's like a shovel pass almost to Kelsey on a couple of those rollout protections that we had. And, it's just like, how does someone he threads the needle on these things, and it's been awesome to watch. As a center playing with him, it's also really good because he sees things. He puts us in the best situation possible a lot of times, and that makes it easy on me. We're always usually on the same page. He hears what I call, and he's always in tune to what the protection is. And when the quarterback knows what how the protections work, they know where their hots are, and it helps them defeat a defense easier. And I think that's something he's really good at.
Now, another crazy stat, the Chiefs are the first team to win the Super Bowl after trailing by 10 or more points in every game in a single postseason while giving Andy Reid his first Super Bowl. And I do want to ask you about Andy Reid because we all hear about how great of a coach he is, but how he's an even better person. Can you share what makes him special?
Oh man, Coach Reid's awesome. Just players coach. He's just very down to earth, keeps it real. His offensive meetings when he installs plays, it's hilarious. He's just a genuine guy, and he's committed to working hard. I think guys know that we're one of the hardest working teams out there, and that's just the mentality he brings to that. Coach Reed, he's a great leader. Love the night before. I think they should probably do like a 30 for 30 one day on his meetings, like the night before a game when he installs like the first 15 plays. I think I wish someone could film that. I wish we could one day, but who knows? You guys would. I feel like people would understand more on why everyone loves him for just kind of being in a meeting and seeing how he installs plays and everything is funny. But he always loves his offensive line, which is nice. We get him the kolaches on Friday. It's like it's like the pastry.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was until I got to Kansas City, but he gets his kolaches on Friday. Love a guy who loves food.
I also want to ask you this, and as we close out the interview, I saw that Super Bowl parade looked pretty intense. It was cold. You all were having a good time on the floats. How did you enjoy that moment?
Oh, that was a great time. I think the first mile, I would say, we were on the bus, and I remember Wiz is like, "Hey, we got to get off and like start walking in the crowd," and that was the end of it. I don't think I got back on the bus. The energy from everybody that was there, it was just so much fun. A lot of drinks being passed around, a lot of high fives into the crowd. Confetti everywhere. I mean, they had like the fire trucks out there, like holding banners over the street we were going down. Buildings just packed full of people. If you like look to your right and like saw a building, and you would see like every glass window in it, just like 4 or 5 people standing in it. Parking garages, like every floor. It was really something special. I know when we got to Union Station, we had like a stage set up, and it was just a sea of red on what looked like green grass after they left. But I think they said it was like close to 1 million people, and just the support from the fans. I mean, that just shows you playing at Arrowhead's something different.
Now, Austin, since the Super Bowl victory and the glorious feeling, it seems like you've got some repairs done to your body to get yourself back to full health. How have you been enjoying the off-season up to this point?
It's been nice. I will say really the only negative of winning a Super Bowl is your off season's now a month shorter. I've been enjoying it. I got back here into Florida, been seeing a bunch of friends, seeing some family. I'm just trying to make it last as long as I can before we gotta head back and start back up OTAs, which seems too soon.
I got you, bro. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to join me for an interview, man, and congratulations again on such a great achievement, winning the Super Bowl. And do you have a message to Chiefs Kingdom about getting back out on the field in 2020 and perhaps repeating?
Yeah, we're going to need everybody there loud. I love it. I love the energy that Chiefs Kingdom brings, and we really appreciate it.
All right, Austin. Well, blessings to you, brother. Thanks again for your time.
Yeah, thank you, man. See ya.